So we were talking about relationships. It's different.
Uh-huh. The dating realm.
Much
Navigating is totally different. Uh-huh.
and I don't know. To me, you always, no matter how much it's changed, you have to go back to communication, loyalty, and trust. But that has to be built. You can't trust someone off the gate because you don't really know them. You don't know what the game is. You don't know what their agenda is. But there has to be some reality, some truth that you should establish, no matter what. If you just become friends, but at least you have to establish something because if you don't, then you.
Let me just take the band-aid off real quick,
Mhm.
right? How do we jump in the bed with people who we have no loyalty and no trust with in the dating realm? Where do we do when did we say that this was okay?
Um,
Because I think we need to talk about that.
yeah,
Because if you're saying that the dating dynamic, right, that whole courtship, so to speak, helps to establish trust, helps to establish loyalty and everything to create a lasting relationship that should lead to something else, hopefully the end game of marriage. How are we in the bed so early?
I guess that goes back to self. Again, relationships is just an extension of where you want to go. So if you are a person who is, like I said, cracked, shattered, then sex doesn't. You don't think of sex as we would think of sex because there's a need.
Okay.
There's a need to be loved.
Okay.
There's a
Okay.
need to feel connected, and whether that means sleeping with a guy early to say, "Hey, I'm connected to him. He loves me," or her feeling of love, or her connection to love, is how you can do it. Now, for a guy, we don't really care, but I would look at you a little differently if all of a sudden I just met you and all of a sudden we sleep in the same day,
Okay.
because then I'm like, "Ooh, this ain't the first time he did it." So
But you would engage in the access just as easily because it's available?
if depending on the guy, if you're in that mode and you want it and it's available, you're going to take it. Now, will you continue to take it from that person? Who knows? If it's good, that's gonna keep you around. But
Okay.
now you want more because sex ultimately is not going to keep you in a long term relationship because that's a part of the relationship. It's about, okay, can we have fun together? Can we just sit out and look at trees and just enjoy looking at trees? Can we just enjoy ourselves together? Can we just be home and just laugh at each other and enjoy each other's company rather than, oh, we're home and I don't want to talk to her, she don't want to talk to me, and I don't know why I'm here. Therein lies the communication thing. You have to learn about each other, and that's where you learn trauma. That's where you learn, things you're going through. And if you're feeling comfortable with someone like that, you don't mind having that conversation. But if you think, man, I want to mention that to her because I don't really feel that vibe, then more than likely you probably won't be long term. You may be friends, which won't be bad, but you won't be going somewhere that you're looking to go to, such as a relationship, marriage, kids, white picket fence, all that.
I'm gonna just dabble in this round. Just I don't want to be the bad person, but I'm gonna just dabble here just for a little bit. We don't have to sit here for long. But how do we think if the male is our leader, right?
Hmm.
How does that affect the women or the ladies in our community or our culture, our people, when the men are okay with engaging in loose sex that they know they have no intent on going anywhere with it? It's almost as if you lead on a group of women and kind of lead them there who probably were already broken, and that's how they probably got mixed up in the shenanigans. And now you engage in sex because they were broken. They allowed it. They absolutely did allow it. you weren't going to stay around for long. You knew you weren't. You told her everything she wanted to hear, and then you jumped ship. You didn't carry her. You didn't abandon her. You let her know that this rodeo has come to an end. You were honest about the situation. But what I'm speaking to is the fact that you had no intention on this quote unquote relation, because you probably were never in an actual relationship with her. What does that do to our women as far as the grooming and the overall walking into maturity? If it's just okay for men to have sex with the women because they allow it, so to speak.
That goes back to personal responsibility. That goes back to upbringing. What do you look at as a man? What do you look at as happiness, fulfillment? That's you. But that goes back to us not getting the information that's needed when we're little to make those decisions. We base a lot of our decisions based on what we see, what we hear. If you don't have a role model that can tell you, boy, you need to, get to know her, get to know yourself, get to find out who you are, and that person doesn't make you, then you're apt to just do whatever makes you happy. You're a child, you're a kid. Because now you just let a kid run around in a store, just happy-go-lucky about, oh, I got free candy. I'm gonna keep getting free candy. But as you grow, you're like, wait a minute, free candy can't be free. I'm getting it. It's going to cost me. And am I willing to pay the cost for the candy? Or I'm willing to just keep getting free candy? In this case, you as a male have to understand that, hey, you can't just be out here just having sex with anybody and everybody just going to give it to you for free and taking advantage of people. Then you're just a grown man. You're a boy. You're basically a boy who happens to be 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, you're still a boy. You have a boy mentality, which means at some point, somehow you have to say, this is not what I want. I want more. I want to be appreciated. But that goes back to knowing who you are. If you never learn who you are or know who you are, you'll just find little things to women, this woman here, that. And God forbid don't have a kid. Because now that complicates it even more, because now you're like, oh, you know what, now I got a kid. We just don't wake up one day and say, hey, you're going to get older every day. We just become a man. We're going to know the right thing. We're going to do the right thing. Someone has to teach us. And unfortunately, we're not getting taught like we used to get taught.
Okay.
And we have to learn. We learn how we learn. We learn based, as stupid as it is, society. Society says, we should be able to just get as many women as possible, be that playboy, be that player, be a pimp. All great titles. Sounds great, but it doesn't make any sense.
Player.
Yeah, you gotta be a player.
Right.
But in the long run, I don't know many happy players.
Yeah, it doesn't serve you well.
No, it's like retiring as a pimp. You don't retire as a pimp.
Right.
You just fade away.
Right.
So in order to have a healthy relationship, to grow old and have someone who loves you for being you, that means you have to learn who you are.
Okay.
And that takes time, but people don't want to take the time. It's easy to swipe. It's easy to take a pill. It's easy to do anything else than to look and say, what changes I need to do to make me a better person.
Well, just like how you said, what society dictates as far as the number of women you need, or the lifestyle, as far as how you interact with the women also, I think, kind of have a societal pressure as far as finding a certain type of guy and having certain expectations from you all, right? It's just like how I referenced the leadership from a man. And just when you spoke, I realized just in that sentence that a lot of the leadership that I'm looking for or expecting of the men, you're saying that y'all don't have it. It's not been present. It's not present, and it has not been present for a long time. So then you have the broken man taking advantage of the broken woman, and we circle around into this whole slurry of a cycle that we see that is very hard to break. That is very hard to break. And pretty much everything that we speak about always just circles right back to that, right?
Yes. It does.
It all does.
Because again, it's hard for men to express their emotions anyway. And plus growing up, if you get hurt, you be quiet. You suck it up. You're a man. You be all right. Brush it off. But you hurt. But as a man, you're not supposed to have feelings. You're
Right.
supposed to just do what you're supposed to do, handle your business, do your manly things and be masculine and blah, blah, blah. But if you're a broken man and you're using all these things to make you feel like a man, at some point, you got to realize that, hey, this ain't working. But then that means you have to say, what I need to do to find that thing to get me to where I need to be.
Yeah.
And that's finding that help or being vulnerable or opening up your heart and saying, hey, here's a situation. That just don't happen with men. It just don't happen. I mean, if you're lucky to have a conversation with a father or uncle who's open like that, that's one thing. But in general, we kind of like, if you don't have a male figure, you figure it out. And the thing is, women can't teach you how to be a man. That's the other thing. Women can teach you a lot of things, but when it comes down to how to handle things men should handle,
Yes.
they can't do that. And women are like, I can do it all. You can, but you can't. You can teach us certain things, but you can't teach us how to be a man.
Because we can do it all, but we can't. Right? But that speaks to the fact that we're pivoted in a position where we almost have to do it all. Or you saw someone else doing it all. And so you was programmed to think that, nah, that's what we do. We just do it all. We have to be super strong because my auntie was super strong. My mother was super strong. My grandmother was super strong. What am I going to be? Because then they're going to judge me. They're going to talk bad about me.
But what are they going to say? We all made the same mistakes. We all thought the same way, so we all end up in the same boat. What you just said, your auntie, your aunt, your grandmama, your great-grandmama, all women. We're the men. So
now they all got men. They would all have men. And
they
it
had to have
doesn't,
men.
they had to. It ends up being the upbringings, whether there's a man present in the house or not, it's not. Sometimes it's just not a thriving situation. You could be married or not married. You could have a boyfriend or not have a boyfriend. You could be the auntie that's sleeping with the the married man type of thing. There's several different dynamics, but when you speak to raising strong women, you can have your dad in the household and that he can be married to your mom and all of the children be from him. But when you have a strong woman who is generationally strong and she projects that strong image, doesn't matter about that male dynamic anymore. They cut it off. Let me tell you right now, I don't care what a man does. This is what you do, right? That's how you groom the strong women. You toss out the favorite phrase, I don't care what a man do. I don't care what
And that is the problem. Because when you start reducing men to just a puppet or just a chair, a prop, now you reduce the family. Because he has to have a say in how things are going. You may not like it, but you have to have. Kids have to see that. They have to see that, hey, sometimes mama is running things, sometimes daddy's running things.
Yeah.
And that way they know that, hey, it's cool that I can't do everything. Sometimes a lot of men feel less than a man when they can't afford to take care of home for whatever reason. And the woman makes more than them, and they feel a certain way, like, I can't believe, she got the pants in the family. Well, what you should look at, if we're a unit, the unit is good. We as a unit are doing well, because I may not have it now. You may be taking care of it right now at this point. At some point, I'm gonna get there, but that means I have to work on getting there. I can't just be whining and complaining about, well, I'm working this and I'm doing this. You gotta do something. You gotta get up and do the work to make it better, because then your kids see that. Because your kids see that, hey, mom and dad, they're struggling. Things ain't that easy, but they're working together. So now that's something as a young child girl, young child boy, certain things you look for, because you say, hey, this is how my family grew up, so I need to look for that. So you're gonna look for a woman who's like that. You're gonna look for somebody who's gonna be supportive. So at that point, the game is a little different, because you kind of know what you're looking for. Because a lot of people really don't know what to look for. Like, hey, I want companionship. And I can't tell you how many women and men, I heard, I don't want to be alone. So that means I'm willing to accept anything to not be alone. And that ranged from the 20s up to the 60s.
But are you really willing to accept anything?
I think a lot of them are. I think a lot of them have, in the beginning, they had this huge dream about, I want to find that Mr. Right. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. But then you make decisions in your 20s that now put you in your 30s, still thinking the same thing, but a little tempered now because you're in your 30s, a little older. He's still out there. I just got to find him. Now if you have a kid, that comes into play. And
you're no longer with the kid's father, is what you're saying.
No
So
longer
now
with the
you're
kid's
still
father.
looking to not be
Still looking.
alone, but now you have a little bit of baggage. Okay.
And now you're in your 40s, and now you're like, oh, well, but I'm not looking for that guy who's gonna be, come off the jet plane and going to take me and whisk me off my feet. I gotta be realistic now. I'm 40 years old with 2 kids, and I'm not just gonna accept any old body,
Right?
but I do need someone, to share my life with. And then you start to make decisions that you would normally wouldn't make in your 20s and 30s, but now that desperation starts to kick in.
So you're saying your standards change? Okay.
Yep. And now you're like, okay, yeah, he's cool. He ain't what I would have went for, but he all right. But now you start to settle, and then you waste some time there. And then the other thing, you got to stop wasting time. If it's not going to work out, just say, you know what, it's not going to work. You're old enough to know that it's not going to work out.
Okay.
If he's dragging you on and he acting real funny, he disappears on you, talking about, I got to look at his phone. No.
You're doing too much, in other words.
You're doing too much. So if I got to, wait a minute, I put a GPS on your phone and I booked into your Facebook said this and I saw you on IG with this and you have gone into drama land. And now.
It's more than drama though, Malcolm. It's violating each other. You're creating a lifestyle where you think it's okay to violate each other because you can.
Yes.
So I go through your phone because I was into your phone, and so it's okay for me to have access. You know what? I have access, like as opposed, and you don't leave. You don't get this information or this proof to say, you know what? I have the confirmation that what this person was saying or doing for me or to me is not true. It's false, and then I'm going to leave. You say, I have this information of deceit. I'm going to confront them, and then I'm going to ask them to change.
Yes. They're not
the
going to
change never happens.
It's never going to happen.
The change never occurs, and then we just do this all over again. And after the first and second go round, he's accepting. Well, you're accepting. We're both accepting who we both are.
Yes, because again, once he realizes, I threw the rock, it hit the window, didn't break.
Yeah.
I just don't throw it as hard. I keep throwing against the window.
Yeah.
And if it did break, all right, bro, you'll fix it. And I'll keep throwing the rock at, and you'll keep getting mad at me throwing the rock at the window. But I'm gonna keep doing it because you fixed it last time, bro.
That's not breaking it, yeah. And if it do break, it just only gets fixed, yeah.
And if you don't
why would I stop?
Whatever. So then now time goes away, time ticks away, baby grows. Now you're in your 50s. So now you're like, oh, wait a minute. Now I'm 50. I got a kid. I've been in multiple relationships that's going nowhere. Oh my God. What I'm gonna do? So now you just start looking at anybody if he's breathing. As long as he ain't got AIDS, or maybe he ain't gay, or maybe he ain't down low. Now I'm settling, which means now you're saying, whoa. I need to go back and find out what's going on with me right now, because now I'm looking at my 50-year-old self with 20-year-old eyes. I need to take these glasses off and readjust my focus, because now, where am I? What do I want to do? Where am I going?
Right.
And you have to be really, really honest with yourself and say, okay, here's what I need to do to make changes. Here's what I need to do to get to this point. You may find a guy. He may not be that guy you saw in your 20s. He may not be a guy who's making $100,000. He may be a guy making $30,000, but he's a good guy. And you can't now look and say, well, he's only making 30. Well, I can't. How you gonna help me get somewhere? Well, he's a good guy. You know, he may not went to school.
Where are these brothers that making all this money? Where's this 100,000? What do they call them? 6-figure winner at? Have we seen these guys in real life? Because I kind of feel like, generally speaking, you either know a lot of them or you know none of them, right?
True.
And generally, when you know a lot of them, you kind of know all of them, right?
True.
And I don't care how little bit of money I make or how much money I make. My money is for my lifestyle.
Exactly.
So if I'm a 6-figure earner, Malcolm, and I've been living a single life, and you're trying to get with me in my 30s, mid 30s, early 40s, late 40s, I'm already pre-spent my money. I already know how my money rolls. So I don't care if I make $40,000 a year, $80,000 a year, $120,000 a year. You need to be wiggled into this budget expense. So why are we getting hung up on the nuances of how much old boy make a year? Because it all gets spent different.
Very, very true.
Because we all have baggage too.
Exactly.
Right.
And as you get older,
you get more baggage.
Exactly.
So the $100,000 is different, you know, depending on the amount of baggage that you have. That can be cut down real quick, and depending on how your lady spends. Exactly. I mean, your $100,000 is just not enough, even if you had no baggage. So.
Exactly.
I still needed to work.
Exactly, and that's the truth, because you're looking at people. You have to adjust every time. You have to look at where you are, realistically where you are, not where you want to be, where you should have been, where you ought to have been. No. Where are you right here at this moment, at this point of time? And you have to make decisions. You say, you know what I did before ain't working.
Yes, because I'm still here. It's like, how's that been working out for you? Whatever you've been doing, it ain't been working out for you. No. You're not getting the result that you want.
But then you wake up every day doing the same thing and expecting a different result. That's insanity. To keep doing the exact same thing.
Trying to find a good woman in the same bar every Friday.
Doesn't work.
Why are you going there?
Why are you going there? Why are you going there?
You're attracting the same type of woman.
Same women.
All the time.
You're like, I can't believe I can't get no better. It's not gonna get no better. You're in the same pool. Get out the pool. Go to a different pool. But when you go to the pool, understand what you're going to the pool for. Don't just get out the pool and go to another pool.
No.
You can't go with that same mindset to a different pool. You gotta say, listen, this ain't working here. I gotta do something different, because if you go to this pool, there may be a different type of woman there. It may
and in order to attract and deal with a different type of woman, you have to be a different type of man, or come in with a different type of approach.
Exactly. You gotta have a different mindset.
You do.
Because if not, then what happens is you become that woman becomes, I call petty. Because now you're like, why can't I be like her? Why can't I be like her? Stop worrying about other people. Why can't you be the best you can be? Stop worrying about why. Well, they've been married, and I know I look better than her. I know I got more money than her. I know I'm more educated than her. I know I got this and that other thing. But you understand, none of that matters.
Right.
If your personality sucks, I don't care what you are. You could be worth a bit. You could be Rihanna.
But you don't know how to spend your money. It don't matter how much money you generate, how much money your man brings to the table. If all you know how to do is spend the money on frivolous stuff, then what you have in the end. If you don't know how to budget your money to vacation with you and your family, then, the couple next door looks like the couple that has money to vacation, but they might make the same amount of money as you.
If not less.
If not less in some situations. Exactly. If all you do is eat your money because you enjoy going out, fine dining, then guess what? You don't have the same amount of money to put towards a nicer car or a bigger home.
Nope.
Because you spent your money totally different. And so while you have all of these, parameters on what type of man you're trying to attract and how much money he should be earning, you've got no clue on how to actually run a household, which is technically supposed to be the woman's traditional part when we want to speak about it. So if you don't want to work and you want to be a traditional woman who stays at home, half of the women out here don't know how to, maximize the money inside the household anyway.
Exactly.
Technically, you don't know how to cook either, but that's another whole topic. But I'm just saying.
Whole nother cut off fish. It's just, and a lot of women have to think about this. You want to get the BBLs. You want to get this, the fake that. That's all fine and dandy. But if you stink inside, if you are just rotten to the core,
Yeah.
God's gonna figure that out.
Yeah.
You're gonna look and say, "Damn, she got fine, nice, fat, but damn, she got a stink attitude." And at that point,
She's fun to be with.
and what happens is you're gonna start to roll up on your years, and them years start to kick in, and you done gave it up to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Next, you know, your years run out.
Yeah.
And
Them
then
GPY is over.
GPYs are done, and then when they're done, then what? Now you reduce
Settling
to
into anything.
anything.
Uh-huh.
And let me tell you, there's always a bum out there looking to take care of you and sleep in your bed and just use you. Why? Because he needs someone to live.
Yeah, yeah. You always can find somebody. It's just as that somebody worth your body.
Exactly. And now you like, oh yeah, I gotta take care of him and me. I gotta do this. Well, that's what you did. You made a decision.
Right.
Still you saying, let me step back and reevaluate my life, see where I'm at, where my head is at, where my heart is at. No, you want to look at TV. That BBL gonna make me happy. That money gonna make me happy. This gonna make me happy. No, you're just walking around with all that money on you, and you still won't have anybody.
Right.
And nobody's gonna even look at you. That's the other thing. You're like, or if they do look at you, they're gonna go, they're gonna do what they gotta do, they're gonna bounce because you got baggage. Because now all those years of not having that person, not having someone love you, or you not loving yourself enough to really love someone.
Right.
Now you become angry.
Because you do see that a lot of women, they're not able to engage in a relationship where they can, like you hear women say, I'd rather be alone. I'd rather live by myself. And you're like, it's like you miss something. You don't want to give care to anyone.
No.
You don't want to nurture and love on anyone. Like it's all too much for you.
Yep.
Right? And it's just like that's a crazy concept. Where you're like, no, I want to be in a relationship, but I ain't trying to take care of no man. You want to be taken care of.
Yes.
But you ain't trying to take care of no man. It's almost sort of what Mackenzie says earlier, I'm buying this, I'm doing that. I'm picking you up. We live in the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? You got to drive everywhere. And I do expect for you to come pick me up. Because guess what? I drove all week and I'm tired. I want to rest, right?
Exactly.
But what happens when he wants to rest, right? It's like we are caught up and we kind of don't have much to give back, or kind of that idea that we have to give back, right? It's like, what you think gonna come from that?
What we have right now, a lot of lost people, a lot of people who are looking for short-term happiness because they don't understand. A lot of people don't think they deserve long-term happiness. I think a lot of people just realize that, think that, you know what, it's obvious this is my lot in life. This is where I'm meant to be because I've tried other things, and this is just what
it is. Gonna be. Yeah.
And in actuality, it isn't. In actuality, you have to every day get up and say, if this is not what what you want your life to be, you have to change it. Nobody's going to change it. Like I said, no guy's going to change it. No woman's going to change it. You have to change it. And you have to say, hey, I'm going to do the work necessary to get to where I need to get to, or be where I want to be. So it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen, I'm going to change for 7 days. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a quick detox of my soul for like 15 days. No, that means you have to change the habit. You have set up a habit for your life, and now you have to change it because the habit doesn't work anymore. It's like smoking. You smoke all the time, but hey, you know what? I cough a lot. You know what? I need to stop smoking. Then you keep smoking, and eventually you end up with, unfortunately, lung cancer. I can't believe I got lung cancer. I went from 2 packs a day to 1 pack a day, but you're still smoking. So you're still going to get sick. You're going to catch something, and then you're going to die.
Going against the grain.
Exactly. So now I got to stop smoking. I got to go cold turkey, and I got to do other mechanisms, coping mechanisms to not do it again. It's not just one thing.
Yeah.
And one thing people keep thinking is it's one thing. I have to do this one thing. No, it's a multitude of things. You have to change the mindset. You have to change how you think about life, how you carry yourself, how you walk in life, how you do things in life. And once you make that conscious decision to do that, then you say, I have to do it. And you just do it. And you just keep moving. So, it's just people, I'm just upset people keep thinking it's easy. Nothing is easy. Everything is about making sure that if you want to really make a real change in your life, you have to do the work. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to, like, your friends are going to help you. Nobody's going to help you. You have to help yourself. Like I said, Lord help those that help themselves.
Right.
You're not going to sit there. You can sit there and say, oh, Lord, please give me rain. I ain't going to get up and move, but I'm waiting for the rain. You'll sit right there and probably die with your hands open like this and be just as toasty as a burnt piece of toast.
True.
Because you're not going to do the work.
Yeah,
you just want
do.
somebody to
You
give
do.
it to you. No, if you want it bad enough, you got to work for it. You got to get it. So,
You got to pay attention and respond accordingly.
yeah.
Right? Like something happens, you pay attention to what's happening and you got to respond accordingly to. You got to readjust. You got one bad situation, you have to position yourself to where you're not doing that twice. And are we learning from our mistakes?
I don't think we are. I think right now we're just trying to find easy ways around it. I think we're just trying to talk a way out of it rather than say, again, I don't want to do the hard work. I just want to do something that's going to change enough that I can look like I'm changing, but I'm really not changing.
What's allowing us to live without relationships for so long? Because a part of me feels like there's certain parts of modern day society that allows us to live the lifestyles that we're living where we don't value relationships with each other, meaning even as basic a relationship as taking care of our grandparents or the elderly inside the community, taking care of our parents, the interactions with significant others. Like, what's going on with us?
I think economics has a lot to do with it. Our standards in society is lower. We don't value life in ourselves like, let's say, the Japanese. Japanese take care of their elderly. They don't just say, oh, we'll put them in a nurse home. They figure it out. They take care of them. It's a duty to take care of them. And by having that duty, they learn. The older tell the younger, they teach them. We don't spend the time. We don't even spend the time with someone older to learn what they're teaching. Or what they want to teach.
Right.
Because right now, yeah, that's old. I don't even know that.
Yeah.
They ain't helping right now. But just the core of what older people can tell you will help you. And every generation yet to be
Period.
here will help you. But you have to listen. You're not there for, oh, my life is so busy, so fast. No, it's not. Because when the pandemic hit, you were home. And at that point, you was like, oh, well, wow, my life really isn't where I thought it would be.
Yeah.
No, because you worked, you went out, you hung out. You never really dealt with yourself. Because it's so easy to go ahead and go out to a bar, get a drink, go out somewhere and get something to eat, hang out with some other friends. So that way you never really had to deal with
So
yourself.
we're constantly ignoring self. And
Constantly.
yeah. So my sister had suggested that I watch this one movie. Chief Daddy on Netflix.
Okay.
And it's an African movie, Nigerian flick. And I say that to say that got me watching all the Nigerian show movies. They were just hilarious. But it's a few dynamics within the culture that you can see does not exist here. And the one main thing that I noticed that exists in their culture is the parental guidance within the relationships that I don't know necessarily exists here. Whereas when you have a problem with your mate, you pick up the phone and you genuinely call in the parents or the elderly for help, right? The very idea that you would burden your grandmother with your marriage problems nowadays to most people would seem a little bit Like, you got to be at the end of your rope, as opposed to just thinking like this is just what we do.
Yeah, exactly.
We go seek the church first,
Mm-hmm.
or we go seek, someone's public service, counseling service, to tend to our relationships. Even like a crazy situation with you and your children. Sometimes people go to counseling for that,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to asking, an elder to step in,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of help navigate you through life. And it's just like you said, the foundation of what our elderly have to say will resonate through all the generations.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought that was very interesting how some cultures really are navigating the relationships totally different versus how we are. I don't. I have to piggyback and loop back around to the Will and Jada thing,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole idea of the slap to the Chris Rock situation,
Yes.
right? When I spoke to my son about that, I spoke to how it's about time we had to start defending the black women within our community. And sorry, it was against Chris Rock, but do the women in our culture feel like put on a pedestal and protected and all that good stuff?
No.
To be acting accordingly?
No, and that has happened. That deterioration has happened over decades.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the '60s. We had the Black Power, we had civil rights, and James Brown. I'm black and I'm proud, and you had it. You had the Panthers. You had other organizations that gave us pride. I think once we start getting into that mindset of things rather than family, that start to change a lot of things, because now the family wasn't as important now as it was then, because now you think if I have the money I can buy whatever I need. I don't really need the old person. I don't need to listen to anybody because I'm making money. So just
Child
listen to
care,
me.
something as basic as the child care, right? You can treat your mother any old type of way because she's not the person who's taking care of your children anymore, right?
Yes.
Your mom would be retired or grandma, take care of the children, so you had to respect your elders all the time because you kind of needed them.
Yes.
They were still ingrained into your lifestyle, whereas now you drop your children up to a little daycare facility. Your mother probably doesn't live in the same state as you, and so the relationships are kind of, I guess, faltered. And we kind of, if I haven't seen or talked to mom in a few months or on a regular basis, why would I call her when my relationships kind of hit the fan, so to speak, right?
Yeah, why would you? Because again, that's right now. The internet has the answers. If you got a problem, just Google it.
Yeah.
You should be able to find the answer.
Yeah.
But no, life isn't a Google search.
Yeah.
Life is learning from people with experience.
Yes.
Who went through things.
Right.
And be able to talk to them and find their way. Again, their way is not the way. It's a way. And we as a society need to stop trying to find the way. There's multiple ways. You just have to figure out, okay, this may not work for me. I may try something else. But we just want to I just want to deal with it now, and take this pill and be done with it. Can't.
And there's no such thing.
No such thing, which means everybody's situation is different, which means you have to also be open to listen to people. Because everybody, everyone has their own version of an answer. You have to listen to it, and as crazy as it may seem, the person, you may think, that person ain't got the answer. You may listen to it, hey, I never thought about it like that before.
Yeah.
But you can use that, and really, life is like a toolbox. I tell my son all the time, we all have a toolbox. We start off with a toolbox. Then you get tools based on your parents, based on who raised you, based on things you may find. Tools you find laying
So in
around.
other words, you don't have any tools in the box.
You have no tools. You have a box.
Okay.
And then someone gives you a tool.
Uh-huh.
And then you may not, you don't know what it is. It's in the box.
Yeah.
But eventually, as you live and go forward, you may use some of those tools. Some of those tools, somebody else may need it.
Right.
And you just take it and give it to them.
Right.
And they can use it. And so along the way, you'll pick and exchange tools, buy tools based on what your needs are. But at some point, you have to give all those tools away to someone. Because as you enter that fourth quarter in life, you can't take the tools with you.
Right.
The tools have to be given to someone else.
Right.
So that's when you say, hey, you'll be different people in your life and say, hey, you may need this tool. Just going to talk. If you sit back and listen to people, and you can hear, people will tell you what's going on in their life. If you just listen. That's the other thing we don't do. We don't listen.
Yeah.
We want to talk to people. We want to tell people, this is what you should do. Sit back and listen. Listen to what they say in its entirety and say, oh, I never thought about it from this point of view.
Yeah.
And then start coming up with some answers. And then start searching for the answers. Because it's not going to just come to you. You got to start searching for it.
Right. Allowing the perspective to be shifted. Right.
Exactly. I can't say, well, nobody can tell me anything. Everyone in this world can teach you something, good, bad, and different. And really, it does. I mean, you can talk to someone else, they teach me not to use drugs, or they tell me I need to talk more around relationship, but you'll learn from everybody.
Yeah.
And you just have to be smart enough to say, let me take it for what it's worth, put it in the toolbox. I mean, I need it. And down the road, I may need it.
Right.
But you have to be open enough to understand that something is wrong and then make the change. And until we as a society realize that what we're doing doesn't work.
Right. That's what it is, right? What we are doing, it doesn't seem to be serving us. And so at what point do you deviate and say, you know what, we have to make a better way? So if you are raising daughters, give me the advice you're giving to your 18-year-old. Give me 17. Give me 16. Because in my opinion, it's going to be the same advice over and over again.
You know what? My advice would be the same I would give to the 16-year-old, that I would give to the 5-year-old, that I would give to the 1-year-old. Meaning, the self-love starts when they're little. So if I'm training her and I'm telling her that you are worthy, you are loved, no one can treat you a certain way. If your dad don't treat you bad, I don't expect you to take anything from anybody else.
Okay.
If I take you to get your nails done, if I take you to get something to eat, I'm going to take you to the finest place just so a guy can't tell you, well, we're going to go to McDonald's and get a Happy Meal. You're going to be like, okay, that's for you because I don't eat Happy Meals. My daddy never took me out to get a Happy Meal. He always took me to the finest joints. Self-love has to be instilled in her early. And it just continues. As she gets older, you're there for everything. You're there for, her recitals. You're there for ballet. You're there. So she knows what true love really is. Because really, once a young lady sees it from her father, she's not going to accept anything less than that.
Yeah, but how do you advise her to navigate the dating scene?
Well, she has to understand this very important thing. This world is your world. Meaning, you don't have to accept anything that you don't want to accept. If someone's telling you something or trying to give you a line or whatever, understand. I'm going to tell you all the lines. I'm going to tell you what we're going to tell you to get them draws. We're going to tell you, as a male, we're going to try everything possible to get them draws. We're going to tell you we love you. Girl, I respect you.
Y'all dig deep.
Oh, yeah. You can't.
He used to be a player. Malcolm used to be a little player.
That sucker stuff works for suckers, but when you're trying to really, really, really get to her, you're gonna hit all them little corners because you don't know what kind of chick she is. You don't know if she's broken, cracked, or shattered.
Right.
So based on her answers to you, it's like, okay, oh, she's really messed up. So I know. I can say a lot of things to her, and I own her.
She melts.
She'll melt.
She'll just melt in my hands.
Do anything I want to do because I've touched all the parts of her soul and her being that's untouched by
or yearning
love.
to be touched.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
So you got to tell her she can't fall for the games because again, it has to be real. And again, in the beginning, you're friends anyway. You're not going to be out there like, we're going to do this, that, and I'm like, first of all, you don't know him. So you want to find out where's his head at? Where's he going? Where he wants in his life? What are you striving for? And
so the first thing that you advise her to do is to establish a friendship. Can we agree to that?
Yes.
How do we not be friend zoned in the friendship? How long is that going on? Are we dating while we're establishing this friendship? Are you paying for meals in today's society?
I would, for me, I'm going to give her money. So I don't want her to be behold on him like, he going to pay for this food because I think he going to pay for this dinner. I'm going to have to do something for him for this dinner.
Something strange.
So I can do some strange things for this food. Damn that. I'm giving you a credit card. Here's your credit card.
if your desire is to make your daughter feel independent, do you not think that that would go in direct competition with the desire for her to be in a relationship? Because if she feels like she can accomplish everything by herself, why would she need someone else?
That goes back to self. You have to establish with any person, but in particular with men and women, boys and girls, self-love, worthiness, and understand that yes, you're going to accomplish a lot of things in life. You will be able to do a lot of things in life, but you want to be able to share that with someone. So you don't confuse independence with depending on someone. And it's like, I know who I am. I know what I need.
Right.
I just need someone who can help. We can go in the same road, go in the same direction for some goal. So it's like, I don't need you. Because I really do. As a human, you need human contact. You need someone to love you. You want someone to love you for who you are. Not for how you look, what you can give them, but you're such a good person that I love you for you. And you should love me for that. So I want someone to share that with, because I want to be able to go somewhere and we take a bunch of pictures or not take pictures and we just enjoy ourselves. So knowing that I want somebody to be a part of my journey rather than I want to drag you along with my journey, or I want to be behind your journey. This journey together.
Yeah.
But then only then you'll find out by talking to the guy, because you don't know what the game is. Again, he could be a player, he could be a guy, legit guy. He could be a quiet guy who just don't know how to really talk to women. You get some guys who are good guys who just
can't communicate.
So you have to come across to, hey, I want you to let's have a conversation. This is where we're going. Let's see where we're trying to go. You may not be trying to go there. And if that's the case, then I say, oh, okay, we're not trying to go there. He may not be ready for that. So he may be a friend. That may be the friend zone. It may be a guy say, hey, I'm trying to get there where you're trying to get to. I'm trying to go where you're trying to go. But you want to know what he's doing.
So you want your daughter to date with a credit card?
I want her to have a credit card because I want her not to be dependent upon anyone or any situation.
But why can't? No, I just feel like when we're dating, I'm supposed to be a little bit vulnerable in the fact that I'm supposed to be okay in my mind that he got the bill. I kind of feel like it comes with the territory of the whole, like, grooming you for marriage, so to speak. Like, I have to be vulnerable and knowing that my guy got me.
I feel you. That's based on how we were brought up. Based on these guys now, they may say, hey, I done kicked out about $400. I done took to the finest place. And $400 and some liquor. And then you're like, well, I ain't really feeling it. He'd be like, okay, well, you know what?
Pay your half?
Yeah. And then you're like, but that's a learning experience. You say, okay, I'll pay my half. You learn from that.
You will not pay your half. You will get up and you will leave. That's okay. We need some training etiquette for women, because that's what you won't do. First of all, how is that's an anniversary dinner? See, are we dating incorrectly? Because why are you dating a woman who has no ties and commitments? We're not dating exclusively on a $400 date for dinner.
Well,
and economically, can this guy even afford this dinner at this age? Or should he be affording this type of meal at this age?
Well, see, that goes back. You need to be dating a guy who knows himself. If this guy try to, flaunt and he can't afford it.
That's what it kind of sounds like. Because if you're talking to me about first date, I mean, we're just getting to know. We can go grab some. We don't have to be at the best of the best. I'm saying on the first date.
True.
We're not going to Fridays. But we don't have to be at the best. We're just trying to break the ice, I'd assume. But a $400 date, in my opinion, for someone who is a sensible individual. Perhaps we're celebrating a 1-year anniversary if we're just dating, but generally speaking, those are serious restaurants for people who have real money. And maybe this is our 10-year anniversary and we're going out on, we're going to drop we're gonna drop the bag tonight on a meal, but you've already invested so much in me, and I've already, invested so much in you as well. Are we dating incorrectly here? Because that's really what that sounds like to me.